Hi everyone and
Welcome
welcome
back.
back. So we are just about to jump into the third round, which is going to be KGSZL against eSuba. eSuba just managed to beat Cyber Athletes 2-0. And unfortunately that means Cyber Athletes are out of this tournament. But they should feel pretty good about themselves. I think they did well. They showed us that they have some pretty good talent, and they pulled off some good plays and definitely challenged these other teams. As we said, this group has definitely been really exciting to watch because it's been very close, and the teams are on much closer level, it seems, than the other groups where we had a one team dominate really each stage. So now I'm not entirely sure who's going to win, because with these Suba's performance against Cyber Athletes, they actually managed to beat them 2-0. Whereas KGSZL beat them 2-1 and seemed to struggle a little bit more against Cyber Athletes. So, in theory, eSuba is the better team, but I think, like I just said, it's too close to call. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's the thing. I actually think it's going to be eSuba to grab it, but I'm
Cannot
not
hear
sure
you.
that it's going
I
to
don't know
be.
if that's
Uh,
me or if that's you.
okay,
There we go.
that's just you. Fortunately, I didn't unmute myself for you. So yeah, I think that it's going to be really tough for KGSZL to actually take this one. I think that eSuba will be the ones to take it, but it might be a little bit closer than with Cyber Athletes. However, I'm not sure if I can say that they're gonna get a map here even. Of course, the points, sure, but I'm not too sure about the map. I always want to take a look at the draft before I call something like that. But eSuba, as I mentioned, they have a lot to prove. They want to get their revenge against Ice Block, and they seem like they are just on fire. They were able to close out Cyber Athletes on some occasions very efficiently, and I think that they will continue to do so against KGSZL. And they also, like as Exora said in the chats, they just really want to figure out as quickly as possible how to deal with that Doomfist, and then they are sure to be able to deal with Ice Block GG. At least that's what he said himself.
Well, that's good to see. I missed that, unfortunately. I also seem to have missed Bouncy Cube gambling 5k betties, and I saw you jumping in on the thing. Is that right in seeing?
Yeah, that's me. I don't know. I'm just really confident in eSuba in this matchup, so
Are you?
I'll go
Wow.
in.
All right. Well, Bouncy Cube. I definitely noticed you put 5k down. So, and Nero Integrate is using his insider status to try and win some betties for himself, which is but he's going for eSuba. You know what? Okay, for that I'm gonna go for KGSZL. So we'll have a bit of a
Okay.
matchup against her. Let me see how do I do the betties.
Oh, I just checked how much I have and decided to go in on the who did I go for? On Ice Block in their second match in the winners matchup. Now I decided to just continue a little bit with eSuba. Unfortunately, I didn't get my bet into Cyber Athletes, but yeah, that's what you guys in the chat can do. That's what we advise you to do with the betties, and when you get as many of them as possible, then you can buy some good stuff. And actually, at the same time, we also have a giveaway going for 100,000 betties, which is also a big chunk of money that you can spend on some of the items right there on our shop. 100,000 betties, if I remember correctly, equals about 100 euros. So that's quite big.
No, definitely is. So it should be quite exciting to see what happens. I actually just made a mistaken bet on eSuba without thinking about it. So I'll have to throw that. I completely meant to do it on KGSZL, but had a massive brain pop because you were just talking about eSuba, and I was like, yeah, eSuba, okay, ESB, and there we go. So I guess I'm now on Team eSuba, and we'll have to see what happens here. But so going back to the actual game that we have here, QB was performing really well. Sardis, I think eSuba performed well, and so Exorath was saying previously in the previous game that Doomfist is overpowered, and that's why they lost. I'm not sure I entirely agree with that. I think Iceblock GG beat them a bit as a team, but it definitely looks like eSuba figured out the way they want to play and what they want to do. So we'll have to see how things go forward. But KGSZL here also were doing quite well. Sharp and Zeus were very strong, and I don't know. I guess we'll just have to. It'll be interesting to see really the picks and bans face and what ends up happening.
Yeah, and surely, as you say, it is always that team effort. But as I already mentioned, like in the very beginning of the day, it's a little bit of a contrast to what we've seen from Mixie, Mix, and Leaf out there. Just that was the ultimate teamwork to get that Doomfist really blossom.
Yeah.
But right here, I feel like it was about crew playing a little bit individually out there. So I think I can agree with eSuba a little bit on that one, although not entirely for sure.
I agree that he definitely had crew definitely had a big impact on the team, but I definitely think that the other players were coming up big when we consider their performance. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. But at the moment, we're just having a slight little break because I think someone had to go somewhere. Just double checking. They'll be right back. So a little bit of banter in the chat going on at the moment, which is quite fun to see. I think a lot of it comes down to maps, but I don't know the map pool of these teams and who's going to dominate what. But I would like to. I think the thing is there's certain maps that are definitely more exciting to watch, and like I enjoy watching Nepal because there are a lot of different avenues for teams to control the map, and I think, for example, Doomfist did really well, and then we ended up seeing a Bastion yesterday which dominated and controlled the map completely. So these are the sorts of things that can come out unexpectedly, as opposed to the more traditional team comps. So we'll definitely have to wait and see how things go.
Yeah, and I just don't really think that something like Bastion will show up anymore right here. There's no one decisive matchup where a team has a huge advantage over the other, so the players will not be as confident themselves to really go for a crazy pick like that. They cannot even close out the other guys in the respawn and really deal like that. Maybe eSuba against Cyber Athletes had a little bit of a possibility like it, but they didn't use it at the end of the day. So yeah, this far in the group, when we're getting to like the Deciders match or when we're getting to the grand finals, it's just not going to show really.
No, not at all. And it's definitely like the teams are coming together quite well and being quite strong. So just for everyone joining us, because Kib himself actually just put it in the chat, he is the French Kib, just not the other one that you're thinking. That is why he is playing Lucio, so we don't want to go on and on like that. But we'll just have to wait and see what ends up happening. But the teams are coming together. Nothing too exciting. There's no Doomfist on either side. It is Lijiang Tower first. So there's a real chance that we'll be seeing a farmer.
I think that on Garden especially, the Doomfist could work out quite well because of how he can get in through the windows and how clutch it is whenever Winston does it to just trigger the overtime or something like that, or a D.Va. So if it was supposed to be picked, it would be right here, but since nobody's really getting the Doomfist now, I think that we'll not see a Doomfist for the entire Lijiang Tower really.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see. But look at this. Tsar coming out with his Pharah straight away and did quite well with already getting an elimination on Zeus, which is really important because Zeus has just been so dominant, as well as Sharp really on the other side. But Leo Deads has been very good with his Soldier 76, so I'd be surprised if Sardis or Mercy just live like that without any damage. But what happened there to QB?
No idea. He has actually fallen down right there. Probably didn't have a recall or maybe a misclick with a blink of his, but that's quite bad, and he surprised himself. Overall, that makes the enemy team win the team fight completely. Sharp already has the pulse bomb ready, and he's getting a lot of assistant kills out there too. So that's going to be the point captured right off the bat by actually KGSZL.
Yeah, look at that, KGSZL coming up big there, despite losing the first couple of kills, but Sardis and Farmer Mercy still together, so they really believe in this comp, and he's got his barrage ready, so that could definitely turn things around quickly. Couple of ultimates up, but nothing too huge. On the other side, KGSZL don't have too much, but 4 kills, wow, but a great revive coming out of Xrath, and Sardis gets 2 kills with his rocket barrage, but Zeus suddenly pops up and manages to at least kill someone. So now it's getting a little bit messy with 3 down though on KGSZL. There is an opportunity for eSuba to take the advantage and grab the point.
Well, here we go. The point's still ticking over at KGSZL's side, and all the primal rage inside right there is definitely making it so much harder for eSuba to take it over again. Dereneko there with a double kill, and then a pulse bomb to take off a mecha. So Sharp still tries to turn it around, and he's got such a big advantage because of QB's suicide, unfortunately, out there. That's quite big. And what? Tomka suicides, but throws Leodeds out of the map too. Okay.
This game's all about them suicides. They just can't take it in a bad play, and they jump off. But the big thing here is that eSuba has been stopped, unfortunately. But well, not unfortunate. Well, yeah, no, actually, considering I accidentally bet 500 for them, yes, I will say unfortunately. But KGSZL definitely holding on, and they're on fire. So they've definitely come into this match. You know, the pause in between games hasn't dulled their skill at all. And I have to wonder whether this Pharah is working out on the side of eSuba.
Well, for now, Sardis has definitely done a lot in the very beginning, but once again, they just cannot get in. They have 2 people less in order to take that point, actually. The overtime's already ticking. QB and Kunta are getting the kills finally, so something's working out for them. Zeus, though, is getting healed up consistently. He consistently manages to survive. Leoned's also real low, but both of them managing to surviving as long as that sound barrier goes down. And when it goes down, everybody just gets wiped out, so the point's finally taken over.
Wow, that's a very good turnaround. I definitely thought that KGSZL would finish that off, but luckily that final matchup, and here we have Sardis in the air trying to keep people back and pop a little bit of damage, and we have Sharp around the side being a real annoyance, but QB is just not letting him get away with it.
Well, Kib, alongside with the rest of the teams, just trying to run in as quickly as possible. They want to get it back. They want to get a successful team fight, and then it would be a victory right off the bat. Rocket Barrage to get only a single kill, and then get caught down by Zeus and his Dragon Blade, but a good res right after to extend this team fight, and they should be the ones to take it over from now on. Nothing really to counter them anymore, but Kib will have the sound barrier soon enough, though he dies before that kicks in. Now the only hope lies in the hands of Leodeds, who might be hitting a tactical visor, but I don't think that it will be useful to actually do it right now, since they're being shattered, but Leodeds still finding some of the kills out there, but they will regroup soon enough. And now with the visor, primal raid, sound barrier, it will be so much better to approach this fight.
Absolutely, and pulse bomb is only about 10% as well, 10% away as well. On the other side of the match, eSuba only has a sound barrier, so it's gonna be tougher. But here we have Sharp coming in around the side doing some damage. He's got that pulse bomb looking for a vulnerable target to open up the match, and I wonder if he'll be able to do it. His health is very low, but he gets a massive shield coming out from Lucio, but he is still eliminated by Sardis. Leodeds pops his visor, but doesn't seem to be getting too much, and on the other side it's still a 2-for-2, so nothing changes too much, but a lot of ultimates popped by KGSZL.
Well, that is a little bit unlucky. The visor was focused on a Devo who was hiding behind a pillar, strafing around and getting rid of that visor completely. Now Kunata is being hit by the Tracer. Now that's going to be a good pulse bomb stick, but actually both Diva and Winston survive. Sharp, though, finding the finishers a little bit later, and they're still holding on to that Mercy for, in my opinion, a little bit too long. They should have already swapped that around a little bit earlier, especially as it didn't have the res. Now it's not even charged up, and she's dead again. Kib, Askov, Sharp, they're all getting the kills again, but QB is the only one to do anything about it.
I don't know what's happening here. This is all a fight on the point, and it is that it is 99% against 99%. Everyone is on fire at the moment. It is crazy, and it's not going down because they're contesting the point right now. We can see Sharp is fighting up against Winston, trying to do a lot of damage, and Primal Rage is just trying to knock them out so that they can capture the point. He's on 1% of health, but he's managed to be killed. Sardis is standing around the corner trying to damage people before they go in. He pops his visor to get those crucial kills, but the Zenyatta ultimate comes out. He manages to get Kib, which is a real key thing, because without that healing, they won't be able to control. Leodeds pops his visor in response. We're still fighting on that 99%. He gets a great double kill from Leodeds. He's standing on the point at the moment. He probably can't get Dereneko. That's huge as well. Sharp has to jump. QB's trying to do some damage around the corner there, but he gets wiped out as well by Asker. Gustav is running over in a Sombra now, and we're not even sure who is alive. Sardis is out. Leodeds is in the point fighting against Tomkas. 3 against 1. Tomkas is holding this like a boss. Exorath is running around the side. He has no health, but I don't think he managed to die, so he's still alive there on the point.
On.
It's still
on.
Down. A great bomb coming out of QB, so we're now 2 down on either side, but they're still contesting the point. QB's darting in and out, trying to damage the Winston. We have 3 on 3 at the moment. Look at them darting around. Who's going to get this? A primal range comes out of a Winston to knock it out. It looks like that's it. No, it's reset again.
Sidus with a clutch jump in right there. Exorath that with the yippee. This will change everything around, but no, when he dies, it will actually be over. KGSZL to take it at the end of the day, but what a battle to close out this round. And for the most time, actually, on most of this overtime, it was eSuba who had the points, but they weren't able to group up for long enough. And yeah, that's going to be us getting over the control center. KGSZL real happy about it, but eSuba will just have to recover quickly enough.
Yeah,
they have to forget about what happened there.
That was huge. It must have been incredibly exciting, but we now have a quick pause, it looks like.
Yeah, one of the players was Gustav, actually.
He had to restart. He got DC'd. So he will be back in a second. But what an incredible end to the match. I had no idea who was going to win it at all. It was really pushing until the end there. So we'll just have to wait and see. But this is great to see the performance coming out of both teams. And there's no doomfist. So it just shows that the meta is completely not set in stone. And that going back to what you're most comfortable with can definitely succeed.
Well then. Waiting for Gustav to rejoin so that we can actually continue, because we don't want anything to interrupt what's happening right now. It's been a mayhem, and actually I think that it's maybe because of that little mistake on eSuba's side. Cubis suiciding on his Tracer. This might have changed everything. The initial team fight, it might have been so much easier for them to grab this first point, but that's why I said they have to completely reset themselves right now. And getting into control center, if they grab it, if they take it 3-1 from that point on, I don't think that it's going to be a problem in the slightest. But if it gets complicated from now on for eSuba, then they will definitely have to blame some things that were outside of their control. And it's bad whenever it happens. Then they will not have control over what's really happening. They'll be stressed out, and they might be tilting. And yeah, that's where you lose.
Yeah, well, it's definitely that is exactly what happens, and we can't let anyone tilt because it will be a real problem. Oh no, okay. So he's had to update the quick patch, so he'll be back up in a second. But QB just wrote a message in the chat saying, "Rip his points." I can only assume that he's talking about Bouncy Cube, 5,000 points that were being bet on KGSZL's attention. So even QB is aware of this. So we'll have to just wait and see what happens. And
yeah, but it's also lovely how we see all the players tuning into the chat out there. Some of them are not even playing in today's group, from Group B, from Group C out here.
Yeah.
I always love where that happens. In Overwatch, I think it's been the #1 in that. League of Legends being behind them. In Counter-Strike, nobody cares, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's been a lot of fun. Like, even seeing Leaf come back in today and come in and have a little bit of joking about it. It's a lot of fun. And it's one of the nicer thing about these smaller tournaments where you don't have those tier 1 teams. You get a real opportunity to interact with them. And a lot of these players are just huge fans of the game, and they just love playing it and are very good at it and enjoy chatting with everyone. So we'll just have to see, what happens there. But I do enjoy it, and I would encourage everyone in the chat to go find these players, follow them on Twitter, find their social media, follow the teams. It's a huge help to them, and we also at ELC Gaming really appreciate all your support. So here we go. I wonder, so this restart is taking a little while because there was a hot patch to, I think, just fix a couple of bugs. So he's had to update that, but we'll just have to see what happens.
But if that happens, I'm quite positive that after... Okay, he's back.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, luckily enough, he's back. But usually when there's a patch going out and a custom lobby is made on the previous patch, it's not possible to join from the newer one. And it's been an issue for some of the matches that I already casted. But he gets back and there are no issues, so that's fine.
There we go. So, yep, that'll be right back. He's apologizing for it. It's okay. All right, everything's back. We're starting up again, and there we go. Li Jiangtao.
Yep. Control center, and let's kick it off. Leo Dead's on for now Doomfist, and it seems like he'll stick with it. And I also don't think that it's going to be a bad idea. However, as I mentioned, like it's very good to get him on Garden. It's such a clutch hero, and especially with what it looked like, 99% and all these overtimes, getting a Doomfist then, it would have been a better idea maybe for eSuba.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good champion to have in these kind of where there are a lot of walls and you can really pin people against them. So, but ready, look, coming out, a lot of action at the start, kills on either side. 3 deaths on either side at the moment, but no one's really getting a huge advantage. But Sharp is coming up huge, 3 kills there in a row, and Gustav, after that patch update, he seems to be very happy and getting a kill of himself, eliminating QB.
So we're straight off, right off the bat, hopping into a little bit of an advantage in favor of KGSZL. That's a good start in Lijiang Tower. And it's important for them to get that confidence. If they would be able to grab the first map, there's still 2 left in the pool. And I'm gonna be surprised to see KGSZL win. We both bet on eSuba after all, right? But I can say that I'm gonna be happy if they make that upset.
I can tell you that if they do win, I'll put all my betties on them in the finals. We'll see. Unfortunately, as I had a slight misclick at the end there, but look at that quadruple kill, or 4 kills on the side of KGSZL allows eSuba to capture the point, and so only at 37% there is a good chance that eSuba is able to control this, and we'll have to see what they do. They're not being too aggressive, but they're just trying to catch them at that funnel point of re-entering the zone. Sardis getting some nice hits with his shuriken, but nothing so far has been here. But here comes Leodets, and we have a Transcendence, but are we trying to catch something of Zeus is around on the side? We're watching it. He gets his blade out, he does a couple of hits, he manages to take out Leodets. So is Sharp is dead, but nothing huge coming out of Sardis there or Leodets, so not a huge change, and now they're looking to capture the point, but I'm not sure if they'll actually be able to do it.
Well, there we go, Kib is going to be slashed through by a Swift Strike, but he's not dead. That's very important. However, the point's already been taken over. And, well, the initial advantage from KGSZL is not as essential right now, as you can see. It's almost being doubled right now. Before they get here, it will probably be. Sardis, surely my point of interest right now on that Genji of his. He's a very strong Genji, I have to tell you that. But once again, 3 DPS on the other side, and that's something that I sometimes questioned, but I grew to like, and maybe they'll make it work once again. KGSZL, let's go! That's a Graviton Surge right in the middle of the point, and everybody that got caught, and it was so exposed, they instantly dropped down. Now jumping around the fight is Sardis with his Swift Strikes, but it's Kunhuda to clean up the kills with his Zarya out there.
Yeah, that was huge there, right there. Like, managed to take out 4 people. And definitely Sardis is on fire, as you say. He's a great player, he's a great Genji. So we'll have to be able to see what continues on, because right now they're 96%, and if KGSZL isn't able to do anything, we're watching Sardis, he's bringing out his Dragon Blade. Leo Dunn is trying to do something, but he's taken out despite the defensive play. QB is around the side trying to do some damage. He manages to take out Ascot. And I wonder if this is the defense. Nope, it's a team wipe on KGSZL, so eSuba will take the game, tying it at 1-1.
Well, that's going to be eSuba indeed, coming back in full strength, and I think that if they don't make the mistake on Garden once again, they should be able to take that too. And now KGSZL are surely cornered on Lijiang Tower. And now still Night Market remains, and we'll find out who takes this one. If, once again, eSuba actually take this point, then I can already say that probably the fate of KGSZL on the first map is sealed. But if they manage to face off on equal terms right here, it will all be good.
Is that your mother calling you?
No, it's not a phone.
It wasn't? Oh, okay. I thought you had a really old school phone there.
No, I don't. Well, there we go. Let's kick it off.
Here we go, and now it's starting up, and we're following Ascot, who's definitely been a very impactful player on this Winston, but has also made some crucial mistakes that have actually given away the games that they should have won. So the points unlocking in 15 seconds, both teams are going back. Leodeds opens up strong and manages to take out Kunhuta. Gustav takes out Tomka, Sardis takes out Zeus, and Sharp takes out QB. So it's in the favor of KGSZL with 3 down on eSuba. And we'll see if they're able to translate that into the point, which is unlocking in 1 second.
Yep, a lot of takedowns right there for sure. A little bit of a man, but definitely in favor of KGSZL once again. So once again, them opening it up is surely a good sign. But from that point on in Control Center, they just built up like 30% and they weren't able to cross that anymore. Askov to leading the charge. Once again, they will be the ones to actually have the advantage in the up-and-coming team fight. Nobody else anymore. Or are they still continuing to try it? Of course, they're trying to run away, but it's not so easy when you have a Primal Rage, a monkey in your face. So Askov's doing a great job, him starting and ending this team fight alone.
Yeah, no, massive there, and he's definitely been a fan favorite. So watching him do that has been very exciting. I think a lot of the fans appreciate him. We're just gonna have to see. Sharp is waiting around the corner, looking for the perfect opportunity to get a bit of a flank. I don't know if he meant to do that, but definitely. Oh, look at this pulse bomb. Only gets 1 though, but he might be able to finish up the Lucio himself. But he forces out the ultimate, which is good. But the rest of his team really stepping up and taking out 4 members of eSuba.
Well, they're now 60% and still ticking. Zeus getting a good position for himself. Askov always has some good ideas in here. Zeus actually showing up right there, and yeah, I think that they spotted him out. But he's not jumping down from that side, actually. He's going to wrap around again, and Askov, and Zeus actually losing a lot of HP to the other Winston. Now Tomcast going ham, trying to jump towards the healers and the enemy team, or actually that's going to be the soldier that gets focused down, but he's just thrown right on top of the point. So unlucky. He's going to rejoin his team, but not for long. QB was there to shut him down. And now finally a victorious team fight for eSuba with 85% on the side of KGSZL, or 86 rather. It's actually going to be shut down finally, but it's looking much more like the garden rather than the control center. This time, I think even though the point was taken over by eSuba, there's still a good chance for KGSZL to fight. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting because they have a lot of ultimates charged up, so it's going to be key is looking at how they do it and whether they want to wait for Gustav to charge his up. He's still got 40% to go, but eSuba only has 1, so it's really now is the time I would say to push in, and we can see that they've had to force out already eSuba's ultimate. They're using 3, but nothing much has happened. Ashkov managed to get 1 kill, but that's about it. Sardis manages to get 1 as well, but this is actually what I initially thought was a really good play from KGSZL. Seems to have been much better for eSuba considering how many ultimates they got out.
Yeah, it has been shut down, although Askov at the end of the day kicked it off with 1 and then finished the fight with a quadruple kill combined. Yeah. And all of these have been his eliminations, and yes, they did manage to overwhelm the enemies since nobody was left on the point, and Sharp, as he just respawned, was able to dash in with his blinks and take it over. So overtime's already ticking, and they're not 99% this time around. They have only 50, so this could be indeed KGSZL actually fairly taking a point for themselves, thus definitely saving their situation on Lijiang Tower.
Team wipe, look at that.
Yeah.
KGSZL coming up big.
2-1, and I'm definitely glad that we get to see that.
Yeah, no, that was very good. That was an interesting and nicely played as well, because I mean, I just as I was saying that they didn't make it work for themselves, they pull it out and Askov comes up big, and this is kind of what he's been throughout the whole of this games today, is that at times he's been really strong and has managed to make those playmaking games, and other times I think he's misread the situation and forced something that has actually cost his team the match. But the trio of Zeus, Sharp, and Askov has been very huge, with Leo Deads as well, and Gustav and Kib have been incredibly solid, and their layering of their ultimates to prevent any damage has been great. But this is a good map to finish on because it was a very close one, so we'll have to see what happens. And we're looking at QB at the moment. Let's see what he can do.
Oh, well, indeed. Let's see what they all can do right now, though. Opening up this team by KGSZL, coming massively on top. And Zeus right in the front, fighting against 4 people. He had to finally die, but he was staying alive for exceedingly long. And QB up against Sharp. Is he going to be the better tracer this time around? Because he's usually been this far today, but it's not as easy anymore. Gustav, is he going to drop down right here? That's the question. Yeah, they lose the Zenyatta, but right after, some more damage is going down, and Zeus once again cutting down another Genji actually this time. Kunhuta comes in and he's swapping around the heroes so much. Zarya, Diva, Soldier, whatever you want, he's gonna pick it and play it.
Yeah, and so we're watching a lot of QB just dart around, and he's living on a knife's edge, doing a lot of damage. His health is going down, but he's not letting them get away. And great follow-up there. Is he able to get a kill? No, he isn't, but they're weak enough that he's just being an incredible pain, and they're not allowing them to push up onto the point, which hopefully, and it does, it allows eSuba to actually capture the point. Now we're looking at Leoded's on Zarya, and will be interesting to see what he's able to do with this. He definitely his shooting has been on point on the other heroes, so hopefully he'll be able to. Let's see what he can do. The team is KGSZL is looking to move around the point to try and create something, but an aggressive move from Tomcast forces them back a little bit. Tomcast sitting around the corner, and look at that, 3 kills from KGSZL, 4 now down on eSuba, 5 down, and it looks like KGSZL will be able to cap the point, and at only 29%. I think KGSZL will probably be able to equal that by the time eSuba gets back and can challenge them.
Yeah, that surely. I mean, that's an extremely quick takedown after eSuba got their hands on that point. Now the question is, how long is it gonna last? Because in my opinion, it is a good situation for them right now that they're building for themselves, but if they just get shut down in this team fight, it's not going to mean anything. There's a Transcendence, a very key one. Ascot was about to die right there on that Winston of his, but he gets saved very successfully. There's a Graviton Surge, and nobody to really lay down the damage on top of that for a moment, but then as soon as Gustav kicks in with the burst of his, and then everybody else jumps on top of them, it's over. So that will be at least 50%, and I'm already definitely satisfied with what KGSZL are getting here. But it's still far from over, that for sure.
Absolutely, and you know, Gustav was able to get a nice triple kill there. The aggression that we're seeing coming out of KGSZL, I think, is smart because it's not giving eSuba the room to breathe, and indeed look 3 down on them. But they do have 2 ultimates up, but the others aren't anywhere near going up, and we're having a lot of skirmishing. QB is trying to get a bit of breathing room for his team by shooting down Ascot, and is able to kill him, but I'm not sure they'll be able to convert it into something else. Darren Echo pops out the sound barrier, so we'll see if that turns into something. And unfortunately, Zeus committed suicide.
Yeah, Zeus was fighting 1v1 against Sardis out there, but actually did not manage to climb up the wall anymore.
No.
And he fell to his death. So that's going to be unlucky, and that's going to be a little bit of percentage built up again on the other side. This seems like it's going to be the closest one of it all. And yeah, if KGSZL manage to put their hands on it again, they might be able to take it 3-1. And that way the horror of Lijiang Tower is going to be over. But if it goes over to eSuba, I believe that they might be the ones to take it 3-2.
People caught out of position, and Sardis managed to get 2 key kills there, which are really important. But actually, no, sorry, 1 key kill. Gustav manages to outplay him and kill him. QB coming up big now and taking out 2 people. And now we're looking at eSuba actually equaling KGSZL's score. So that's quite concerning, because at the moment eSuba has the ultimate advantage, and I'm not sure how soon KGSZL will be able to charge theirs up and actually challenge this. At 80%, it looks like this final fight will really decide it.
Here we are, Xerath to open up the team fight before it's even begun. Zeus is already gone. Sharp real close to death, but manages to recall out there. Leoded's replies, and he gets a double already. We'll get a triple combined with a frag on Derneco too, and that's a lot of some reliable kills in there. And from the other side, the tactical visor was used up by Kunhuta, but because of his position right at the top of the building right there, he wasn't really able to catch anybody as they rushed down the rest of his team. Now he's going to be smashed against the wall by Ascot even. So that's going to be about it for this team fight. KGSZL take it over. They will have the tactical visor for Leo as soon as he comes back. There's a Dragon Blade ready, then also a Pulse Bomb, a Sound Barrier. Everything's lining up perfectly fine for them, I think.
Absolutely, it was a great push for them in reaction, and so now we're fighting on the point. We have 99% for eSuba, and KGSZL are now at 90%, and we're repeating the last time, 99% against each other, but with 4 down, it looks like eSuba will be able to take this. But at the same time, we saw this last time, and it just went on and on and on, and I'm not sure. Goodness. I won't believe it until it's over, and there we go. It is now tied 2-2. eSuba and KGSZL going on. Neither one of them is allowing the other team to go ahead.
And yeah, you were actually right to wait until the very last moment, because as the round was over, a dead Zeus has flown past the point, really. So had he not died right there, maybe he would have reached it with the Swift Strike. Yeah. I don't know, but still, we are getting on towards the garden. So the point where I said, if the mistake's not made anymore again by QB, it's very likely that eSuba will actually take it, but it's real tough. It's all up in the air right now, up for grabs for both the teams.
Well, both teams are just playing great, and I'm really impressed by KGSZL, because I definitely would have thought eSuba would have come out ahead, but as we said, KGSZL seemed to have struggled a little bit more against Cyber Athletes, whereas eSuba beat them 2-0. So this skirmishing is being really aggressive. They're going crazy around the middle area here. QB putting a lot of shots on a lot of people, but KGSZL getting the advantage with 3 kills, and they're looking to secure the point, which is opening up in 5 seconds, so we'll have to see if they're able to hold it, but I'm not so sure. It's interesting that eSuba isn't bringing out the Pharaoh Mercy combo.
Losing Winston right off the bat is definitely a bad situation, but then in exchange for 2 kills, not so bad anymore. Sardis is going to try to spot out all the enemies out there, and they're all grouped up in one place. There's no Tracer looking for a flank or anything along these lines.
So we're just trying to build up the ultimates at the moment, you know, the points there, a bit of skirmishing. These fights have been just so, it's so different, the gameplay, the way these teams are playing compared to the teams of yesterday. And I don't mean that in as a negative at all. It's just this aggression and this chaos is so well matched that you really have to be constantly aware. But this must be really exhausting for eSuba, because even though they managed to 2-0 Cyber Athletes, this sort of gameplay going to the 5th round of the first game is intense.
Oh, yeah.
And they're definitely going to have to keep their mental focus and not lose it. And it'll be interesting to see. But someone is on the point, and it looks like they're about to capture it. eSuba sneakily. But Sardis manages to get there, as well as QB to contest it.
Well, would have been pretty much it right there for eSuba to capture the point in such a crucial situation, with everybody respawning and flying in again. That could be what evened it all out, but it's not happening. It's not going to happen anytime soon. Tomkas inside is actually getting the kills, starting to get the kills, but up against them was a tactical advisor until not so very long ago. Tomkas is going to chase that Leodead down until the ends of hell, and Zeus also jumping in. Both the Dragon Blades, if I'm not mistaken, launch right there. Or actually, no, Zeus is not. It was just Sardis himself. And Zeus was instantly shot down, so actually wasn't even able to extend it at all. 86% though. This team fight has lasted quite a bit of time, and as you mentioned that they were about to take the point, it was at 56% mark, so 30 more gathered.
Here we go again. This neither team is really willing to give up or not give it their all, so this is really exciting at the moment. eSuba has the point at 20%, 86% for KGSZL, so we'll have to see what happens. But Sharp standing on the side, then Lucio ultimate comes out to give them a little bit of health, and they're able to get 4 kills, 5 people now dead on eSuba. It looks like QB will be going down, and that gives KGSZL the opportunity to grab the point again, and that is now putting them in the 90% capture area. So now it is do or die for eSuba. They can't charge up their ultimates. They just have to go in to contest the point and try to grab it again. And if they're not able to, the first game will be going to KGSZL.
I'm not sure if that will work out. Sardis is trying to find some targets for himself, but everybody's running away from him in time. But eSuba, they are starting to win the team fight until the moment Leonidas joins in, and he's got a good distance out there, but Neko is going to try to throw him off the map. However, that he does not succeed at, and also a biotic field right in the middle of that point. Kunuta is doing a good job at keeping his teammates alive alongside with Lucio right next to him, and everything will be reset once again. But that's at least 2 attacks for KGSZL, who are trying to reclaim their
but huge play from eSuba to manage to pull that off under pressure. They're just showing time and time and again that they really know what they're trying to do. So it's good that they're able to play at this level of play and not lose their heads or let the pressure get to them. But here we are competing, and It's definitely going to be tricky as we're watching. Kunhuta is on the point, killing people, and looking to capture it, and they've got to be careful. 2 down on either side, but the ultimates are up for eSuba, and I wouldn't be surprised if they pop them just to make sure. Yep, there we go. Sardis pops his one, but he gets eliminated by Ascot, who's coming up huge. Now it's 3 down for eSuba. And Sharp is on fire at the moment. Kunhuta is putting himself in a position where he can pop his. By the way, he gets eliminated straight away by Sharp. Leo Deads manages to take out Dereneko. Exorath is eliminated by Sharp again. Sharp is a monster at the moment. This is why he's on fire. They have captured the point, and it looks like they'll be winning the game. But nope, QB's back on the point. Are they going to be able to do something? It's him dealing with Sharp. There we go. We have a KGSZL take the first game.
Man, what an intense one once again. And it's the garden every single time. There's actually 2 times out of 2. Both the teams have gone down to 99 to 99 and so close. Kiv with the play of the game right here, and I feel like it's very important to highlight this player as he's just such a great support for his team. It's not the DPS kid, but he's doing just as good of a job, I would say. And there we go. 1-0 in their favor, although the map lasted 26 minutes. And as you pointed out, for eSuba, it's just so exhausting. If they want to win this matchup, they will have to make it 2-1. So we'll take even longer and longer. And let's see what they pick next up.
Eliminations for QB, I think that was it Sharp. I actually missed the name. I was too focused. But 79 kills for a Tracer. That's insane. That just shows how long that match was and how intense it was. So at the moment, we're just having to take a second because there was an issue with some settings. We'll be moving to the next map, but there we go. KGSZL will be taking the first match in an intense back and forth, going to 5 maps.
eSuba picking themselves up the Hollywood, so they're not going for Voskaya Industries or anything along these lines. So they decide to abandon this map, which is quite interesting for sure. As I thought that it might have been once again some little shenanigans from them. They wanted to have that Volskaya left out, but they would like to play it. But if not, then at the moment, if we go down to the 3rd and last map, it's going to be a little bit of that Clown Fiesta, because both teams probably will not be as prepared for it as for other maps. I don't know.
I don't know, to be honest myself. It's pretty tricky. We're going to just have to wait and see how things go. A couple of the players are just having to restart because there was some setting issues due to the patch. They'll be back very quickly, but I think they also might be just taking a little bit of a break because what an intense series, and you come after that and well, I don't know. I don't. eSuba seem to have a very strong mental game, and they've been together. I think you said for about 6 months, so I'm sure that they aren't too disheartened by that loss, and they know that there's still a long way to go, and that they can definitely pull it back. But at the same time, it's been a long day for them so far, and there's a real danger that they get burnt out by the time they get to Ice Block GG.
Oh man, I thought GG are indeed getting a little bit of a setup for themselves by both the teams that are fighting right now, that are throwing it down, getting exhausted as you're saying, but also I think that Iceblock GG from the very beginning, they were supposed to be the favorites. In the first match there was a lot of chaos going on, in the second they improved a little bit, and by the third one I think they will have de-rusted completely. So that will be another challenge really put on both eSuba and KGSZL, whoever gets through. So I want to favor the team coming in from the losers brackets because of how eSuba actually said that it's only about the Doomfist. And I really want to see that great story of them coming back and actually overcoming the difficulties. But I can't see that happening, really.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to see that happening, but if Doomfist was such a problem and was the only problem, then how come they just lost to KGSZL without Doomfist? That's the big one. You got to ask yourselves, and I don't think any one champion, and I don't think Doomfist is so overpowered that he is just destroying them. So we'd have to wait and see. But here we are. We're going into Hollywood right now, and we'll see what the team ends up picking. But their matchup against Ice Block will definitely be interesting if they make it there. Well, either of these teams, the both are playing so well, and we can just that first match just shows how evenly matched they are. So it's very exciting to see. And here's the family portraits of the Overwatch Hollywood.
Okay, Exo still listening to the to the stream even and paying attention to everything. All right, so whoever is behind PR is actually playing us a little bit, but because 2 players recently joined into the lineup like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I'm guessing that their situation is a little bit similar to Cyber Athletes, where they replaced a couple of players lately too.
Okay, yeah, so they're a lot fresher, so I'm just reading what they're saying. Boom. There we go. Fair enough. So actually, it turns out so they're a lot younger together, but that type of performance is quite good. I think the thing is I'd love to see eSuba make it to the finals, just because they made it to have won every Legend Series, so or the last 2 Legend Series. So it's one of those exciting things, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But no Doomfist again.
Yeah. All right. And there we go. Tomcast just waiting for the battle to start and punching the rail a little bit.
These guys are just mega trolling the chat. It's great fun.
Yeah, they are a little bit.
But this has been such fun to cast these group stages between like the Twitch chat, between the players who have been a lot of fun, and the games. It's just been so exciting. So I hope everyone's enjoying it. But here we go. We have the action happening. Sardis on the Soldier 76 sitting there trying to do some damage, and on the other side, Leodet's on his Soldier 76 trying to get some kills, but manages to eliminate the Lucio, which is key. So no more healing or reduced healing on their side. But that doesn't seem to matter because KGSZL go huge and take out 4 players on the side of eSuba.
What an offense from them, and this could actually be what already gives them a huge advantage on that Hollywood. They might not have to worry so much about the defense if they push it until the very end, because the time bank would be really big, and they just really, this is the opportunity to end this with a 2-0, which would be real surprising to see too.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be very unexpected. But again, you know, those sorts of things, we can't always believe the fact that, you know, the 2-0 score doesn't always reflect what actually ended up happening. I'm not sure what Sharp was doing there. He just seemed to run straight into the headshots, like he was trying to catch every single bullet. The pulse bomb goes out from QB, but doesn't actually hit anyone. So here we are. They're fighting over the payload, beg your pardon, trying to push things forward, and both teams are doing quite well. It seems like definitely KGSZL are getting the advantage, and that's another 4 kills for them. This seems to be their map, and I don't know, you know, eSuba picked it, and I can't imagine that this is what they expected.
Yeah, so why and how? Because it was so even on the points that KGSZL were actually taking. eSuba even managed to make it one-sided on some of their own. And now they're getting crushed so much. Leo definitely on this Soldier is a huge highlight out there, if I have to say, really. Now the sand barriers are going down on both the sides. Tomcat's pretty close to that, but he's going to manage to get rid of Askarf. Now they're losing the people again. Exorath and QB are gone. Leo's got the tactical visor, so if he just wants to go for it, he will. And then the pulse bomb's also ready. Here we go, the tactical visor I was talking about. They're getting rid of the D.Va quickly enough, and then they cannot catch up with anybody else because eSuba are just too afraid to re-engage. But when they finally get back here, it's working out quite fine. Though Sharp once again, he strikes in then with a double kill. As soon as the visor is over, the pulse bomb's used, and all the people that died a little bit earlier are now coming back to rejoin the fight, actually.
So close, 3 meters away. It's really just waiting for that moment. 3 down on either side, and we can see Zeus standing on the point just fighting, doing his best to be a real nuisance, which to be honest, he's doing very well. Playing on that knife edge, and it's just so great to actually see them do that sort of thing, because when you see these heroes like Tracer and Genji playing so close to the edge and so near to death, it's really exciting, and that's where they should be, putting out a ton of damage, soaking up just enough damage but not dying. And here Zeus is popping a Dragon Blade, doesn't manage to get to 1 kill, it seems. Oh no, actually he got none, which was a complete waste, unfortunately. And but QB trying to do the damage, and they're desperately fighting over this second payload checkpoint because they know that if KGSZL will be able to get it too easily, it's just going to completely shut out eSuba, I reckon.
Okay, so here we are. 2-0, already 4 minutes time bank. The chance to shut them down further and further as they've been victorious in this team fights very consistently. Well, and consecutively also, did they get broken down once? There was this one time when they had to stop a little bit on the payload, but they already started respawning and rejoining the fight, so I cannot really say that they got wiped out or team killed, that for sure.
No, absolutely. They're definitely playing extremely well, and they're fairly close to their ultimate. Zeus Sharp and Leo Deads should be getting them quite soon. So it's going to be quite interesting to see if they're able to force through this choke point. It's very hard. QB is trying to do his best to do a lot of damage. He gets the Orb of Discord, which forces him back. But we're about to see quite a big confrontation, which could potentially lead us to the end of the match. And KGSZL just seem to be running away with this payload.
Okay, so finally being able to stop them, being able to make them disengage at least for a moment, but not like they get wiped out again. And the Dragon Blade, the Pulse Bomb, both are there, and then Transcendence is going to be key if they want to enter. I guess that when the Transcendence kicks in, maybe they're going to go for an aggressive one. You know, Tomcast is losing quite a bit of HP, but now their healing goes down. Sound Barrier, actually, there's the Transcendence indeed, the aggressive one that I was talking about. They want to kill off as many people as possible right now. Kanuda should be an easy target since he's lost his mecha, but nobody can catch up to him. Now Tomcast falls. Exorath is also in a very dangerous position with a Discord Orb on him as Anna. He's pretty squishy, but they're losing people all over the place. The payload's being pushed. They only had 2 people left, and all these 2 actually decided to fall back to the respawn in order to not lose it completely. Will they be locked out in the respawn? What a great job by the Winston, and that is it!
Wow, look at that. What a great reaction coming out from Askoft, who's, this is what I mean, he's really been huge at some moments of the game, jumping in and preventing eSuba from coming out of the eSpawn. 1 fight, and that was it.
Holy, that's quite huge. 2 minutes 13 seconds of a timer. KGSZL impressing me a ton on this one, and eSuba will be real hard to top that performance. They never managed to wipe them out, really. They only once, or actually twice, managed to extend the team fight a little bit, to exhaust a little bit of that time bank. But pretty much it is a flawless run on Hollywood this far.
Yeah, I mean, great performance from KGSZL. And eSuba must be getting quite stressed, because if KGSZL managed to handle that so easily, they're going to have a tough time to replicate that, and the pressure's definitely on.
Okay, then let's see what the now attacking team will have in mind. A little bit of Doomfist action, maybe from defense right off the bat. They do not have Zarya though, and Graviton Surges could be working out so well combined right here. Just wipe them out once, just survive the first push, build up your ultimates, then a Graviton Surge into a Meteor Strike, and that's already 2 pushes shut down, and that's pretty much already enough to at least force the enemies into having no time bang at all walking into the next round, which would be 1 minute to 3 minutes 13.
Absolutely. So we'll have to just wait and see. It's about to open up in about 15 seconds. Sardis is standing there on the Hanzo, but I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But at the same time, we've been seeing a lot of McCree, so I wouldn't necessarily put it past them. And I think yesterday there was a Hanzo at one point that they used quite effectively, I think, to open things up. Was it yesterday or last week?
I think yesterday it was for just one.
There was just one moment where there was a hand, so they used it a little bit and then they backed off. I actually think they won that match, if I remember correctly. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. But Sharp's on the side and Leo Dead's. Oh, look at this. They did not check. You've always got to look at that corner. Eliminates 1 and backs off a little bit. Really great positioning there. The rest of his teammates making sure to draw the attention from the team, and I wonder, is he still there? Is Stardust about to get picked off?
Yeah, positioning is very important actually, as We already saw the Doomfist once on Hollywood today, being in a great position but not hitting his mark. So, finishing my sentence, positioning is important, but most importantly, the aim is needed to be able to execute that Doomfist well.
Absolutely. I just wish I really wish this Doomfist would get to the other champions. I think if we were able to get that combination with the Zarya, I think they would be able to do it, but it's working out very well for them as it is, so I really shouldn't be criticizing them. Because KGSZL just got 3 kills and have reset eSuba, so they're ready at 2 minutes and 45 seconds, which, you know, they have time. There's not too much pressure on them, but still, the fact that KGSZL was able to do it in 2:13, if they're struggling with this initial part, it doesn't bode well for the rest of the map.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they get lower than 2 minutes of a time bank right here, they're already behind KGSZL, and if they get below 1 minute 30 or like 1 minute, then it's already pretty much horrible. Zeus with a quintuple kill right here.
God.
What the hell has just happened? I believe that it might have even been an ace all by himself. Now that's a good team kill, and that's going to get them so much more time right now. Well, they're not stalling the enemies, but that surely is a highlight play. That probably is a play of the game too. A quadruple kill.
I mean, if it isn't, I don't understand.
Dragon Blade.
Yeah, the game is
nobody
broken.
does.
Yeah, at that point.
What? Did you just see that? He jumped into the entirety of the enemy lineup with no backup, but actually they're starting to get the kills off the back of it somehow. And this is also something that I completely don't understand, but QB getting a double has definitely saved the day for his team, and that might be rare they capture it, but there's a meteor strike. Where will it actually land? Inside of the building? Doesn't really land on anybody out there. Sardis got protected by his Zarya, and then he killed off Leonets very easily after. But in the meantime, all the rest of the team has been able to rejoin the fight. Zeus is going to get away from that ray of Zaryas. Kib is throwing the enemy straight into good angles for his teammates to finish them off. And Kib is also going to get the kill on Tomkes. And Tomkes is just extremely inefficient for the last 3 or 4 pushes on that Winston of his.
Yeah, I don't know what's really happened there, but looking at the rest of the team, though, you know, KGSZL hasn't given eSuba room to breathe to get that point, but finally they are on it. They'll get that first third, and we'll have to see, will the rest of KGSZL go into contest? It doesn't look like it. So eSuba, even though it took them longer than KGSZL, they still managed to capture the payload, and now they have 3 minutes on the clock to get it to the second checkpoint.
Oh well, but they're already behind in the time bank. That's not going to change at all. Now they're going to have to fight to survive, really, if it comes down to the other rounds. And that's the thing, they cannot win the map right here. It's 3 points captured by KGSZL. This puts them up against the wall. Zeus now once again jumps in with the Dragon Blade from behind. In the backline, just cuts everybody down. This time they're not as grouped as they were last time. So it's only a triple, but a triple is more than enough.
Zeus is a monster. He has just like been so good on this Genji, and just the plays he's been pulling out and understanding, reading the opponents and seeing the opportunity to dive in and get those crucial kills to just take the pressure off the rest of his team and win matches. It's been amazing to watch. It is artwork, and then he jumps in with Kun Hunter, reflects the match, and then whoa, look at that, QB suddenly gets a beautiful triple kill with the pulse bomb. And this might open things up for eSuba to really push through.
Yeah, that's going to lead into a pretty uncomfortable situation for KGSZL, but once again, it took a big team fight really for eSuba to break through. While KGSZL, they were pushing through, even while fighting, while skirmishing, the payload was always being pushed, and that's always a little bit of time out there.
Yeah, it is, so that's good. So we're pushing forward. They have about 1 minute and 30 seconds, but Zeus being mega aggressive, forcing out the Transcendence, reflecting D.Va's damage, and he walks away with 62 health. Sharpage being incredibly annoying at the front. They're full health though, and it's just doing the damage there. Look, should be maybe looking to dart around. Sardis though, coming up big, good flank, and is able to eliminate a number of people. And eSuba once again wiping out 4 or 5 people, and now that will allow them to push the payload that much closer to the checkpoint. And 1 minute still left on the clock, and I'm not sure even if KGSZL will be able to contest the second checkpoint, or if eSuba has made it.
And
they have made it.
They just push through. Zeus jumps in aggressively, followed up by his tank, but they get wiped, and the payload's not stopping at all. That's exactly what eSuba needed right here in order to be able to get a better timer, but they're already behind, as I mentioned, on the time bank. And now, to take it to 3-3, that's at least a minute. At least. And I'm afraid I will go down to below 30 seconds. Zeus once again cutting people down.
Huge, yeah, there. Look for the, but 3 down now on KGSZL. But we're just seeing great Overwatch from both teams here. And I know we're highlighting certain individual players, but others like Gustav, Kib, Leodeds, all of them, Darren Echo, Xerath, I want to make sure that they're all get their names out there because they're performing so well, and especially the way that they're layering their ultimates. I'm really impressed by it. I think Gustav had a couple of questionable ultimates previously in the initial games, but since then he's definitely come up key. And here's a big fight coming up with Tomkas jumping in with his Winston, seeing what he can do. He forces out the Transcendence. Sardis now on the side there, his Dragon Blade is up, he pulls it out instantly, trying to get some kills, but no one is dead so far. Still everyone alive. Some close health. Ascot goes down. There we go. Sharp looks like he's going down, but he gets back up. And 1 death. No, Sharp is now dead as well.
Finally.
And 2 down. 3 down. Goes down. Now this is an important one. Now we're looking at Sardis. Is he able to push it? Are they going to be able to take the 3rd point? 50 seconds left on the clock, and this is one of the toughest parts of the map to push forward.
Okay, can Leo actually jump in right there? The self-destruct, alright, so that's gonna be it probably. No, Zeus is in, and Leo might join in again. Sharp's also hopping in, and then Winston, is it enough time for him to catch up? If it is, they might be able to still extend it even further. It goes below the 30 seconds that I was talking about, and Ascot indeed comes back, but will not really necessarily survive there too much as soon as all of his teammates go down, so
there we go.
Oh wow, but it's not a great situation, I have to say, for eSuba. It was just much smoother on every single stage for KGSZL. However, a lot is going to go down to how quickly you can capture the payload actually in the first place. 2 minutes 51 seconds compared to 1 minute.
Absolutely, but you know what? At least they're fighting. That's the important thing. So, you know, like as much as it's worse than the other team, at least there's an opportunity there for them to actually contest it. So now we're going to have to just sit down and see what ends up happening. But look at this.
Okay, then.
We'll have to see. Well, here we are. We're going through. It looks like we have 2 traditional teams. Who will be attacking first? It's eSuba pushing up. So they have 1 minute on the clock to take the payload. After that point, there is no more time. It will just sit on overtime.
Yeah, you just have to, as you say, on overtime, you just have to shut down their overtime, really. And there also is a chance to not allow them to take the 1st point. If that happens, KGSZL are in a very comfortable spot. But if they're not able to stop them before reaching like 1.5 points, that's where it will get tricky. So KGSZL, they have to give their best right now for defense.
Absolutely, and it's interesting to see Leodets is pulling out the Zarya even without the Doomfist. So, but Zarya on both sides of the map, so they're definitely recognizing her strength and potential, and we're seeing a bit of skirmishing. QB looking for that sneaky flank. Sharp on the other side, they're putting out some damage, trying to pick people off. 1 kill on either side now.
Sharp still alive, getting out with the recall, but actually into a very obvious position. Although nobody was able to bring him down, so luckily enough, he gets away with blinks now. Ascot also scaring them away, and that's going to have to go down to another push. It's going to have to go down to that overtime that we were mentioning already. Even if they wipe out the entirety of the enemy lineup right now, they're not going to get the payload. But for the OT, Ascot is still alive, but they lose Tomkas. Tomkas, why are you dying always in such crucial positions and moments, really? Now, Sardis is going to be jumping around to try and hold on to it as long as possible, but I don't think that it's going to last longer, actually. Swift Strike's getting chained together, but he's the last man standing, really, alongside with Tomkas, who's just respawned right now. Sound barrier goes down. Tomkas is going to try and survive as long as possible within his shield. The overtime is still ticking. The Tracer rejoins. Will a Genji make it back? Because I don't think that it's possible. So this could be it as soon as the Tracer dies, yeah.
Wow.
No 1st point cap.
All right. So that was some great defense coming out of KGSZL. So we'll have to just wait and see. Like they have 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, so 0 capture points. That must be quite disheartening for eSuba.
Yeah, and in such situations, when it's gone down to the additional rounds, when one team had much smaller of a time bank out there, I saw many scenarios where they would push the payload until like 0.53. But right here, not even capping the payload, that's a tiny bit surprising, and that makes it so easy for KGSZL.
Exactly, it's a do or die, and they can really just force it there. We'll just brute force it with a little bit of technique. So we're looking at Kip. He should be taking that Lucio. He's the only one left. Neodets has decided to go on to the Soldier 76, which he's been performing really well on with the rest of his team. I'm not sure that these picks on the other side are serious. Actually, look, wow. No. I mean, it looks like, yeah, we've got a Torbjorn.
Okay, Torbjorn, yeah, sure, why not? But not an Orisa. What?
Nope, we've got it. We've
Orisa.
got an Orisa and a Torbjorn on the other side. So eSuba are really pulling out some unusual comps for this defense.
I don't know, and they hesitated on that so much themselves. Okay, I can see what the idea behind this is. Just place a turret in the shield from Orisa, and that's how they will try to deal with the pushes. Well,
there we go, but Orisa's
not too
definitely doing
confident about
damage.
it.
Zeus is on the side there trying to do it, but Orisa is doing a lot of damage there, but she's actually eliminated, and looks like Torbjorn's turret is down as well, so this might be just falling apart straight away. I understood the idea, but it's definitely not. There are 5 down, 4 down on the side of eSuba. KGSZL might just capture this point extremely easily. They've already got the first thought, and there we go. That's it, done.
Okay, one thing, they were completely desperate. Capturing one tick to just close off the map, that was way too easy for KGSZL. It was impossible to actually hold back against it. But an Orisa and a Torbjorn into a meta where dive comps are still very much valid, that's gotta be a joke, really.
Yeah, this must be, okay, we've got to see this. This is Zeus's play. It was huge. Just look at this. We got Dragon Blade. Oh.
Okay,
that was awesome. That was really, really awesome to watch.
Yeah,
that.
just
45 eliminations coming out of Zeus. What a monster. So KGSZL winning the match, which I always knew they would. That's why I bet my 500 betties on them. Can't believe anyone would have doubted them. But what a great performance from the whole group today. You know, it was such fun watching Cyber Athletes earlier come back where we definitely didn't expect them to do so well. And now eSuba performing really well and giving KGSZL a real run for their money. It's a shame that they had to go out, but the finals will be Ice Block against KGSZL. So we're going to take a 5-minute break, guys, and we will be right back. Allez les Français.
Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna say goodbye.